Dawn breaks over Oak Island. Mist curls across the water, shrouding the land in secrecy. For centuries, this place has whispered to those who listen. Beneath the surface, legends sleep. Some say a curse was laid here long ago, a warning to all who would disturb what lies below. The first searchers came with hope. They left with fear. Their stories echo through time.
Archival interview 1909. We thought it was treasure, but it was something else, something waiting. I heard it, down there in the dark.
The island's curse is more than a story. It is a shadow that grows with every failed expedition. In the war room we gathered, modern explorers haunted by the past. The air was thick with anticipation. But the audio was something else.
Archival recording. It's not a vault, it's a prison! We woke it up! The Guardian, it's awake! A scream echoes, then silence.
The team had unearthed a ghost, but they believed it was a ghost of the past. They were wrong. By listening, they had announced their presence to whatever was still waiting in the deep.
Archival interview, voice trembling. We heard it move, the ground. It was breathing.
The day after they played the recording, the accidents began. Not the usual breakdowns of a mining operation. These were different. Impossible. The island itself seemed to be turning against them.
Archival interview, whisper. Fuyez, flee. La malediction est vivante.
The island was done waiting. Experts say isolation breeds obsession. On Oak Island it breeds something darker. The legend of the curse is alive. And tonight, it has a new audience. The first real sign of trouble came 2 days later. The island was quiet, but something felt off. A tension in the air, as if the ground itself was holding its breath. It happened at the money pit. The crew was preparing for a routine lift, nothing out of the ordinary. The crane operator, a veteran with decades of experience, checked every gauge. The steel caisson was secured. All systems were green. Suddenly, a sharp hiss, then a violent snap. The main hydraulic line burst, spraying fluid like blood across the site. The caisson swung out of control, a massive pendulum of steel. Workers dove for cover. For a moment, time seemed to freeze. Silence fell. No one spoke. The only sound was the caisson settling, creaking ominously. Later, I walked the site with our lead engineer. He examined the ruptured line, brow furrowed in disbelief. This line was rated for twice the pressure, he said. No sign of wear. It looks like it was sliced open. Clean, almost surgical. We brought in a safety expert. He ran tests, took samples and shook his head. I've never seen a failure like this, he admitted. The crew grew quiet. Whispers of the curse began to circulate. Some refused to work the next shift. Our next attempt to probe the island's secrets came from the air. The drone was equipped with LiDAR. Every system checked and double-checked. The day was perfect for flying. The pilot launched the drone, eyes fixed on the monitor. Suddenly, the video feed flickered. Static filled the screen. The drone began to drift, unresponsive.
A total system failure, a complete loss of control. It was like something took over.
The drone dropped from the sky, plunging into the swamp. We watched helpless as it vanished beneath the surface. We brought in an electronics expert. He examined the wreckage, running diagnostics late into the night. No sign of interference, no hardware faults. It's as if the drone was pushed by something unseen. Theories multiplied: a powerful magnetic anomaly, sabotage, or something else entirely. The accidents were impossible to explain. The island felt alive, watching, waiting. The team grew restless. Paranoia crept in. Some began to see shadows where there were none. We decided to focus our efforts back on the garden shaft. 2 miners volunteered to go down, over 100 feet below the surface. Suddenly, the lights at the bottom went out. The backup generator on the surface was still running. The radio crackled with panic.
There's something down here, cold wind, something's moving, I hear it growling.
We started emergency extraction. The winch screamed as it hauled the cage up. Every second felt like an eternity. The miners scrambled out, faces as white as ghosts. One had deep scratches on his leg, 3 parallel gouges like claws. We sent down cameras. We found nothing. Only darkness and silence. 2 pieces of advanced technology rendered useless. The accidents were getting stranger, impossible to explain. The feeling of being watched grew stronger. The island was no longer just a place, it was a presence, playing a very dangerous game with us. For years, Marty Lagina was the skeptic, the man who believed every mystery had a rational explanation. He trusted numbers, not legends. His world was built on data, blueprints, and logic. In interviews, psychologists say skepticism is a shield, a way to keep fear at bay. But what happens when the evidence refuses to fit the shield? Marty is an engineer. He lives by data. His hands are steady, his mind methodical. After the incident in the shaft, he spent 2 days locked in his study, poring over every piece of data. Blueprints, geological reports, electrical schematics. He searched for a flaw, a missed variable. Flashbacks play in his mind, years of investigations, every rational explanation he ever gave. But now the screens seem to fight the principles he lived by. He replays the footage, frame by frame. There, something impossible. Gone in an instant. He tries every angle. Gas pockets, manufacturing defects, electromagnetic anomalies. Nothing fits. A historian weighs in. Skeptics are the last to believe, but when they do, it shakes the foundation of the group. Marty's fortress of skepticism begins to crumble. He finds himself looking over his shoulder at night, haunted by doubt. In a flash of lightning, he sees a silhouette. Tall, thin, unnatural. Fear, new and primal, creeps in. He calls in Dr. Ian Spooner, a man of science. Tests are run. The data shows something unsettling. A hollow space, a rhythmic pulse beneath the swamp. Every rational explanation feels hollow. The evidence of his own eyes and ears is fighting the principles he lived by. He cannot sleep. The warning echoes in his mind. The voice from the past has become a shadow in his present. And then something changes. His skepticism cracks, and through that crack, belief begins to seep in. A late-night emergency meeting in the war room. The mood was grim. Marty sat in silence, his face half lit by the glow of the monitors. The team waited, breath held for him to speak. Before he could find the words, the room was haunted by memories. Flashes of the accidents, the drone, the shaft, the scream on the old recording. They were shaken. We all were.
I've been trying to make sense of all this. The cable, the drone, the shaft. There is no engineering reason for any of it. For years you've talked about the curse. I've always brushed it off as legend. As superstition. Voice cracks. I was wrong.
As Marty spoke, the team exchanged glances, some fearful, some in disbelief. The weight of his words pressed down on everyone.
That man on the recording wasn't crazy. He found something, he woke it up, and it killed him. And now, we've done the same thing. The curse is real, and we triggered it.
We turned to experts, folklorists, psychologists, hoping for answers.
Belief in a curse can be as powerful as the curse itself. When a skeptic confesses, it shakes the foundation of the group.
We awakened it, our work, our noisy machinery. We have disturbed something.
The confession echoed in the silence. For a moment, no one moved. And in that moment, the Oak Island treasure hunt changed forever. The team's greatest skeptic, the man of logic and reason, made a chilling confession. He finally believed. And his belief meant that they were no longer searching for treasure. They were being hunted. Our mission had shifted. The quest for gold was over. The new quest was survival. They were researching folklore, guardians, and ways to appease what they had awakened. I had to admit I had been wrong. The confession was a weight, replaced by a heavier one, responsibility.
We awakened it. Our work, our noisy machinery. We have disturbed something.
It was no longer about treasure. It was about survival and understanding what we had unleashed. We had to find a way to put it back to sleep, if that was even possible. The hunt for gold was over. Now, the team gathered in silence, surrounded not by shovels, but by ancient books and maps. They searched for answers in the margins of history, seeking out legends, curses, and warnings long forgotten. They called in experts, historians, folklorists, survival specialists. Each brought their own fears to the table. One historian warned, "Some guardians are not meant to be disturbed. Legends exist for a reason." A survival expert advised, "If you can't understand it, your only hope is to respect it or leave." The team debated late into the night. Fear crept in with every unanswered question. Outside, the island was silent. The wind howled. Something unseen watched and waited. In the end, they agreed. Survival came first. The quest had changed. Now it was about making it through the night. They set aside their tools and hopes of treasure. Their new mission: survive, learn, and, if possible, restore peace to the island. The island waited, and so did they. The decision came after days of debate. Rick and Marty gathered the team in the war room. The air was heavy with dread. For the safety of everyone, all major excavation is suspended, effective immediately.
Softly, voice trembling. We came here searching for answers, but now the risk is too great. I can't ask anyone to go further. Not after what we've seen.
Rick Lagina sat in silence, his eyes fixed on the table. The dream of discovery, put on hold, perhaps forever. Crew members packed up equipment in silence. The clatter of tools was replaced by the hush of resignation. Outside, experts weighed in on the risks. Dr. Emily Carter, geologist. The anomalies here are unlike anything I've seen. Continuing would be reckless. Sometimes the greatest wisdom is knowing when to stop. Dr. Alan Hughes, ethicist. There comes a point when the pursuit of knowledge must yield to the preservation of life. The team made the right call. The machinery ground to a halt. Massive engines, once roaring, now silent. Fog crept in from the swamp, swallowing the site in a shroud of uncertainty. Marty Lagina's confession echoed in the empty clearing. The greatest treasure hunt in history had come to a grinding halt. The real danger was never gold or tunnels. It was the island itself. As the last team member left, the island grew quiet. The world is left to wonder, what have they unleashed?